Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Jayhan. I'm a video game vocalist and a video game concert producer, and I am back with another reaction video. As you guys have noticed, I am wearing a particular outfit. It is kind of like a little more medieval style, which is really matching the series of reaction videos that I want to do around video game music. And that is me analyzing, commenting on video game music around medieval and fantasy music. I love fantasy and I love video game music, so it kind of makes sense that I would wear this sort of getup and, you know, kind of like in the spirit of medieval and fantasy, that I would be diving into music around such universes, such worlds, you know. Whether it's really kind of like ingrained in medieval settings or even just kind of like fantasy. Nowadays, we've got a lot of video games that relate to fantasy and medieval, and I figured, you know, it makes sense that I start a series of videos that really dive into that. I feel like it's really kind of like a perfect occasion to not only just analyze performances and compositions, but also delve more into some of the instruments that are used, especially for this kind of occasion. You have certain instrumentalists that perform with instruments that were used way back in, you know, Middle Ages or Roman times, and, you know, really way back when. And so I find it's very fascinating that we're now really getting into this time where these kind of video games are coming out, and there's this use of such unique instruments. So guys, strap yourselves in, because we are in for a ride, because today we are going to be reacting to the Blood of Dawnwalker main theme. A couple of months ago, the company that developed this game had released a music video of the main theme of Blood of Dawnwalker, and I feel like it makes sense that I dive into that and listen a little bit to what we can expect from this game as a main theme. So I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys are as well, because from what I remember, some of the former game devs that have worked on The Witcher 3 are now working on this game. And since this is a game that's coming out soon, I feel like it makes sense that we really dive into this. Okay, guys, so strap yourselves in, because we're about to listen and react to the main theme of The Blood of Dawnwalker. Rebel wolves, okay. Flashing lights. Oh, good that they put this. Yo, what the heck, guys? What the heck? This sounds... Okay, hold on. Yo. That was really, really amazing. Hold on, there's a lot to unpack here. You know the people who have worked on this game used to work on The Witcher. You can tell the use of the whole vibe of this song, right? I have to really kind of like pick this apart, basically. Let's first talk about the music. Okay, let's first talk about the music. So through the song has, you know, the smaller scale ensemble slash orchestra. If you see here, okay, so this is the whole picture of what we can see, right? You have the tuba player, you have some sort of French horn. It's some sort of horn, probably not French, but because the end piece looks really, really long. So I'm wondering if this is some sort of like an offshoot or a different version of a horn, French horn or English horn. Then we have a lot of these there are a lot of strings in this orchestra. One concert master, so the violin player, I would imagine. Although I think is that not a viola? Could that be a viola? I think this might be a viola, actually. We have some percussions, you can see in the back, like there's some sort of like a big bodhran, I think, like ethnic percussions that are used here. You have like a lot of flutes, actually. You actually saw like maybe around 4 to 5 flute players, which is actually pretty astonishing when you consider the size of the orchestra. There's like an emphasis on adding those flutes. You have like 1 or 2 bassoon players. It might be 2 bassoon players. So it's a very interesting set of musicians. And then you have 3 vocalists who are very kind of like tribal, almost kind of like in the sort of Bulgarian Balkan style. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but their vocals are very high pitched, very nasally. And so it's very reminiscent of, you know, like the Bulgarian chants that exists, you know. And what's really fascinating is that 2 of these 3 vocalists are holding a very particular string instrument. Is it a nickel harpa? I wonder. Could it be a nickel harpa? No, it's not a nickel harpa. It's a very interesting instrument. I can't tell what it is. So is it a zither? No. You know what? Let's check out the video. There should be mention of that somewhere. Ah, it's a plock fiddle. Okay, wow. All right, so it's a fiddle. It's a type of fiddle that plays... Okay, I need to see this. Interesting. It's actually a very rare and historical Polish folk instrument. And so already what we can say about the song, it's very folk style, cinematic folk, basically. This is a very rare instrument. It dates back to the 16th century and has a very unique construction, as you guys can see, and uses a lot this sort of fingernail technique to play it. Very fascinating. Okay, so I'm looking this up right now. So let me see. I see. Very, very fascinating. Okay, so it really kind of like uses the person uses their fingernails to really play this. Really, really fascinating. And then you have another instrument that the other vocalist uses, and that's the Bulgarian suka, which is also a Polish instrument. It's a traditional folk instrument. It is a bowed string resembling a fiddle, famous for its unique vertical playing position. So it's held on a knee. Again, you have to use like your fingernails in order to play it. So that's really fascinating. It definitely, it's an instrument that you play. It's very similar to what a violin is, but the neck is actually very, very wide, and it requires you to really use the tip of the fingers or even your fingernails in order to play it. This is really, really fascinating. It's such a cool instrument. And it's really cool that the Blood of Dawnwalker uses these instruments. I believe, like in the case of Witcher, The Witcher 3 has also a lot of use of Polish instruments. I don't remember which, but it definitely uses a lot of that. And other instruments that are used, there was one that really caught my attention, which looked super fascinating. Let's see if we can find it. It's some sort of a weird contraption. Let's see. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Like, yeah, here especially. And even an ultimate. Yeah, there we go. Like, okay. Yeah, there we go. You have the suka right here, and then you have the other instrument right there. The pluck fiddle. Really super fascinating. Super fascinating. I love that. So let's just move forward. There we go. There we go. What is this? What is this? What is this? What kind of instrument is that? Hold on, I need to look this up. So from what I can gather, it's supposed to be some sort of portative organ. This is a portative organ. What is a portative organ? Oh my God. Yo, what the heck? What the heck? This is what? No. This is supposed to be a portative organ? It doesn't look any... Okay, so apparently it's pretty much self-explanatory. It's a portable organ, guys. What? That exists? Okay, so it's really kind of like a small and historical pipe organ that is designed to be carried. You know, it's like a portable organ. And apparently it was really popular from the 12th to the 16th century. And it had like a bunch of pipes, a small keyboard, and it was like basically hand pumped, you know, and you would press on that and it would just, you would actually just play it. That is so fascinating. So they really have used a lot of these sort of different instruments in this. Wow. Okay. So a lot of, so now I'm seeing, what is the Wagner Tuben? Oh my gosh, I was dead right. So it is basically whatever is in between a tuba and a French horn. No wonder I thought it was some sort of a French horn, and it's not. It's a Wagner tuba. It's very fascinating. It's got such a unique shape. You know, the French horn is very rounded and has this sort of, you know, the end piece that kind of like comes out like that, you know, and it is typically the French horn that is like synonymous to epic music and what you hear in very cinematic music, you know, one of like the brass instrument of reference. The Wagner tuba is basically it's similar to that, but the only difference is that it's got more of an oval shape, and the tube is also more thin, a lot thinner when you compare it to the French horn like this, and then the Wagner tuba that is a little bit smaller like that. That is so fascinating. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this. So we're definitely seeing a lot of different uses of instruments that are used way back like centuries and centuries ago, and it's so fitting considering that this game is set in the Middle Ages, in medieval times, you know. Okay, so let's just kind of like listen to the theme again, because that is really okay. So you see, just the beginning alone, we've got like very select instruments and performances from vocals, like lead vocals. It's very kind of like airy and high-pitched performance. Ah, What I really find fascinating is that part alone is combined with high-pitched strings and sort of the, I believe, not, it's a cymbal, you know, crash, not the crash cymbal, but basically when you use a brush or even kind of like the drumstick, you know, and then you just kind of like, you scrape on that cymbal and it gives that sort of effect. It is like, listen closely. There we go. And then you have the string come in. And the conductor, he's really kind of like, I think, okay, that's what I was wondering. You guys hear that? The brass? Right here. That, I believe, was the Wagner tuba, because it has a very unique sound that I don't think I've ever heard before. It's exactly between a tuba and a French horn. It sounds almost more like a tuba, but it's got the qualities of a French horn. I really don't know how to explain that. This is so fascinating. I love this. We've got our theme here. Dum, 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 da, da, dum. And this is all kind of like support, like they're all playing the same theme, the same tune, like of course, led by the vocals. This is probably the game's leitmotif. And this is something that we're going to hear probably throughout the game. It is the main theme after all, but it's like, bum, 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 pa-da-dum. And it is supported by very kind of like tribal vocal performances. And I love that. And you hear that, the brrrr, like in the background, that has to be the Wagner tuba. And of course, like ta-tum, ta-tum, the percussions are very, very ethnic percussions there. With the strings. And then here they split into different harmonies, and it gives this really amazing dun dun dun. And then one of them goes up, but not too powerfully. And you know, like, I love this shift, this dynamic shift between what we heard in the beginning, where you heard the vocals very, very soft and very nasally, and then bam comes the main leitmotif of the game, I would assume, the main theme. And then and here a shift in, like, okay, let's go back. What I really love about this. Okay, listen here. Okay, all right, we got this part. Okay, now pay attention to the... Okay, so far we have the same sort of chord structure, I believe, that plays over and over again. But dum 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 da da dum, you know. But listen to what comes next. That part. This is a completely different shift in the chord structure. It's a completely different set of chords, and that adds this level of tension to this song. So it sounded very kind of like heroic in the beginning, and then suddenly there's this part, unexpected. You were expecting the same sort of start of chord, like the same set of chords, but it tricks you into believing that, but then you suddenly get this. here we have incredible violin solo. Okay, I need to stop here because I just realized the type of instrument he's playing. It's not just any kind of violin, it's a baritone violin. That makes so much sense because I was getting a little bit confused because I thought he was playing a violin. Then I was like, it seems a little bit too big to be a violin. It looks like a viola. But actually, it's a baritone violin. And I'm actually just looking this up because I didn't even know this existed. They're really big. They're really, oh my God, I was wondering. It is basically the third largest instrument, okay? Okay, so yeah, the baritone violin, that's something typically that you do not find in a classical setting, you know? You find that more often in jazz and newgrass or kind of like an experimental ensemble. So instead of a classical music setting. It's a violin that is tuned an octave below the typical violin. It explains a lot because when you listen, it has the same qualities of a violin, but at a lower octave. So let me just quickly... And that incredible solo. Up. And then we're back to the main theme. So yeah, we're back to the main theme, that same leitmotif. The only difference is that the vocals are taking a backseat and it's the strings that are taking the lead. That's could have been. I love this. Okay, so what I do want to add is that when you have the dum 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 da da dum, and then in between that you have that lower, like you have multiple layers of different instruments that are playing that low octave part. I believe it's a combination of the Wagner tuba, the bassoon, I believe. What kind of bassoon is it? It's a contrabassoon. It's a contrabassoon. It definitely has a basse recorder as well. That's interesting. Then you also have definitely the tuba, the regular tuba, because we saw that as well. We probably have we definitely have the bass flute as well. The bass flute is the bigger flute that you guys saw with the big head. The smaller the flute is, the higher pitched it is. The bigger the flute is, the lower pitch it is. And it is basically a layer of all those low octave instruments, and it adds this sort of very menacing vibe to it, and it's wonderful. I love that. The composer of this track, I believe, who's the composer? The composer is Nicolas Kolodieschik. I'm sorry, I have butchered that name, who happens to be also the conductor. So the composer is actually the conductor. And so what I really love what he did with this track is that he added some elements of like some very heroic elements. So the main theme, dum 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 da da dum, which is, when you think about the concept of the game, Blood of Dawnwalker, from what I understand, is about this young man who needs to go on a quest to basically save his sister while being, you know, like partially like a vampire and not. So I mean, I haven't really understood the story yet, but there's definitely this play of the daytime and the nighttime, right? So, and in the nighttime, everything is kind of like grueling and very menacing and evil, and then in the daytime you have something more uplifting, not well, I wouldn't say uplifting, but more kind of like something more present, more visible. And then you have the shadows, you know. This is basically how I see this track. It plays around with the different dynamics to communicate about the duality in this game between daylight and nighttime. And this is something you hear so well in the track, you know, the daytime, dum, 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 da, da, dum. And then you have like the bra, like the low octave part, which kind of like feels like something, you know, like us, you know, it's ever present and it's in the nighttime and it's very dark and menacing, you know. It's a very, very smart play in using the different octaves to convey the duality and the duality in the game that we would all experience. I really, really, really love this a lot. So, and then it ends. We ended the way we began, with vocals, strings. Oh, look at them. Wait, hold on. Back. This part. Oh, that change right there. It adds that extra level of tension that I love. Yeah, no, this is really amazing. The song starts the same way and ends similarly, but adds a little bit more tension with the change of chords, as well as some additional layering of different string instruments and violins that are interjecting, you know, adding some melodic parts to it. And the lead vocals, just this airy, breathy singing, you know, just floating on this track, you know, and it adds this sort of mystery and tension, and you don't know what to expect. It's really, really well thought out. I love this. I love this so much. Let us also talk about the evolution in terms of the music video production. The video in of itself, it is clearly like it starts in a bluish light, bluish spotlight, right? With the composer, the conductor, conducting the whole thing right here, right? He's in the spotlight, and you see first the spotlight appears on the conductor, and then the strings that help sort of like lead into the melody, the song of the performance, you know. The whole vibe, it stays kind of like in this bluish light until, yeah, starting from the second time they go dum 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 da da dum. At that moment, they reveal a backdrop with the sun and the moon basically in the background. And it's this very interesting evolution because it as the music video continues, and I love the fact that they have the fog. As the song continues on, they're definitely using sort of like kind of like strobing light effect on the performers. It's not too flashy. It doesn't have too much of a strobe effect, but it's very, very kind of light, and it gives this sort of dynamic and dramatic feel to the video itself. So, and when you see as it continues on, it's like lights the spotlights are turning on and off, and it's really adding to this building of this tension and drama, especially in this solo part, because it's such an intense scene. And then suddenly the main leitmotif comes back, dum dum dum. The strobing effect is not as strong, it's not as frequent. It's just like pew, pew. And we see kind of like also the focus on the vocalist and the bass flute. That's so cool. And then suddenly at some point when the main theme comes back with the the whole backdrop is revealed. I'm guessing this is like a hint of what you're gonna see in the game, basically. And as we see that, I'm guessing like people will come back to this music video and they will go like, okay, I see what this is, And then suddenly towards the end, we suddenly have this shift where the lights, the blue lights, are being switched off. They're being turned off. And everybody has more of a reddish feel and glare, like there's more shadows and more red light. And it's really, really reminiscent of the crimson color, reminds us of blood. And I'm guessing this is going to be like, again, the Blood of Dawnwalker. Really, really super fascinating with the way they produced this music video. Who is responsible for that? They don't mention who produced the video, actually, which is a little bit surprising. It's great that they mention all the instrumentalists, and I'm really happy to see that. But I would be curious to know who has produced the video. Like, who was the cameraman? How many camera people did they have? Because it's clear that you might have had like maybe one or two static cameras, right? And maybe one or two other camera operators that, they repeated they rehearsed this a couple of times, they filmed this a couple of times, and then they would bring in a gimbal to film some of these close-up shots. And I just want to say some of these shots are really, really cool because some of them are slanted, and it's very reminiscent of the Dutch angle. For those who have seen my previous reaction videos, the Dutch angle is a filming technique where you, instead of filming straight, you tilt it to the side, and it's supposed to convey this uneasy feeling, this big tension sort of moment, and it's really, and they use that in very specific places, and I feel like it was really more obvious at the end. It's really a smart way of conveying this sort of drama and really awful tension there. I love this. I love this so much. And it's really cool to see how much effort is not only being put into the producing this music video and keeping it very true to I would imagine the branding of what the game is going to be, the colors and themes of the game. There we go. That is an extreme Dutch angle right there. That part is very, very extreme Dutch angle. And that's supposed to really convey a lot of tension and uneasiness. I love this. I love this so much. What I really love about this is that they've clearly put a lot of effort into including a lot of these sort of folk instruments that date back to the 14th century, really 16th, 14th century, and it's really awesome to see that. A lot of Polish instruments, some of which I believe you do find in actually the Witcher 3 games. This is really, really, really awesome. I love this. I love this a lot. And I'm really excited to discover more of this soundtrack. So overall, what is my feeling of this song? I think it's really, really, really cool. I think for main theme, it's definitely it's definitely got the main leitmotif down. You know, it's like dum 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 da da dum, and you'll remember it for the rest of your life for sure. The choice of instruments, that was really fun for me to look into and to you know, research on, you know, even though it was very limited. I always love to see when video game companies make an effort to produce actual music videos around their IPs. And this is such a spectacular music video production as well. Mind you, it's relatively simple when you compare it to others, but it's still really, really well done. And I just love seeing this. So yeah, this was the main theme of The Blood of Dawnwalker, which was composed by Nicolas Kolodziejczyk. I'm sorry for butchering that name, guys. I'm trying really hard, I swear to God. But I really, really enjoyed this. I always love discovering new music and discovering different kinds of instruments that are not very common. Some of these instruments are really rare, and I still actually can't believe the portative organ exists. This is so funny to me. I love that. I love that. We should all have a portative organ, you know, take it with us, you know, just playing that while we're on the bus and stuff like that. No, this is really cool. I really, really enjoyed this. So yeah, this was Blood of the Dawnwalker, the main theme. So guys, what did you think of this theme? Were there any standout moments for you guys? What did you find fascinating about the music video production? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know what other medieval, middle-age, fantasy music you would like for me to dive into, because we're going to be doing a lot of these in the coming weeks. So I'm really excited about that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next reaction video. Mwah. Bye-bye.